I went to work for the next 7 years, and I wasn't allowed to talk about Ambit. So, that was his reaction to Ambit Energy. And, that's on him. That's not on me. But I'd come in every day with a smile. I'd do my job. And, towards the end of my career, I was up for captain. And he was going to promote me. And I'd heard that he was going to promote me. And I didn't want it. I wanted to retire. And I knew if I had taken that promotion, it would have incentivized me to stay 3 more years. So without telling anybody, I went and took my name off the captain's list so that I wasn't an option. And he was so mad about that. He's like, why? Why didn't you tell me? But, I felt good about it. I come out of there and I told my wife, I feel like the weight of the world's been lifted off my shoulders. So I continue to work Ambit while working full-time at the firehouse. I'd be sneaking down on the truck room floor for a team call or, doing whatever I had to do. And, my wife retired at 43 years old. And she's never worked again, and she'll never work again. And that was, in the beginning, you heard a little bit of that. My wife was what drove me to be successful because I would watch her, I call it the shell game, moving the shells around, looking to see if there's money under one of them, because she does all of our bills. And, I could actually see the stress in her eyes where she was trying to find money to pay our bills, and we didn't have it. And so that was one of my motivations to make this work. And I took that stress out of her eyes, actually, because of Ambit Energy. And she retired at 43, was home to be with our kids. And then I retired after 20 years in the fire service at 45 years old with my pension and health insurance. It was actually great because, they had written me off at one point. So to walk out of there with my pension and health insurance for the rest of my life was my main focus, and I did it. And it's like everything you heard today. If you believe you can do it, you will do it. I wanted to be a firefighter. I became a firefighter. I wanted to retire from firefighting. I fought and finished my career. I have big goals in Ambit Energy. So I'm going to revert back now a little bit to a little bit of my journey along the way, because this is the stuff that I think is important to tell people. So I was a brand new marketing consultant. I had no clue what I was doing. I was ignorance on fire, though. I was so excited about this business. I did what a lot of people do. I started just throwing up Ambit all over people. But how many people in here, by a show of hands, how many people in this room have somebody that you thought for sure that was why you started, because you knew this person was going to be your golden ticket, right? I mean, come on, there's a few of you. I had a guy too, and he fit the bill perfectly. He's an entrepreneur, owns a greenhouse business, plants and vegetables, and it was winter time. He makes Christmas wreaths and Christmas balls. He's always doing something to make money, and his greenhouses use a lot of electricity. I'm thinking, this guy's perfect for this. So I drive up there. Mind you, I joined. I was on my day off from the firehouse, so it was a weekday. So I had to think, who's around? And I knew this guy was around. So I drive up there, and I can't wait to tell him all about Ambit. I jump out of my truck, and I start throwing up Ambit on this guy. And it was, to my good fortune, number one, that he was down at the greenhouse. I didn't expect him to be at the greenhouse because it was February. And the reason he was down there is another old buddy of mine who I hadn't seen and hadn't thought of about Ambit either, was in the greenhouse working on a heater. He owns a heating and cooling business. And he popped his head out the door. He goes, "What's this all about?" I said, "I can't explain this to you guys. Let's go up to the house and I'll show you this video." So they stopped doing what they were doing, and we went up and we watched the video. And it was the 45-minute Carlos Marin video. And the guy I went to see said, "I'm not interested in this at all." But the guy I didn't know was going to be there goes, "I'm going to check this out and I'll call you back." And I go, "Great." So I was pretty excited. And I'm thinking, who else can I get to take a look at this during the day? And my brother. I didn't think my brother would fit the bill. I was prejudging, but his wife was a medical equipment sales rep. So I'm thinking, she's perfect. So I go up to show my brother. I knock on the door. I go, "Scott, fire up your computer. You got to watch this video right now." He goes, "What is it?" I go, "Come on, you got to look at this." So we sat there and we watched the video. He goes, is this real? I go, it is real. He goes, let me show it to my wife. I'll call you tomorrow. So I went home. I wanted to get something done. I didn't have a smartphone, and I'm still to this day not good with technology. I popped up my customer page, and I just started calling everybody I know. Hey, listen, do me a favor, be my customer. I signed up 17 customers my first 3 days in the business, and I signed up 38 by the end of the week. And I've never signed up another one. I was done after that. So anyways, that Saturday, my buddy Wayne calls me. He goes, hey, listen, I think I want to do this. I'm like, really? I go, well, come to my house. I don't know how to sign you up. And he came down to my house, and we called Tiffany Wood, and Tiffany's talking me through signing up Wayne. And at the time, I still had a house phone, and it had call waiting, and it kept beeping in. It was my brother. He goes, listen, we want to sign up for this. I go, really? I go, let me call you back. I'm signing somebody up right now. And I click back over, and I go, Tiffany, that was my brother. He wants to be a consultant too. And she goes, what are you doing? I go, I just showed them the video, and they saw how excited I am. And that's how I started my business. And Ambit at the time had a promotion going. And it was, if you promoted to regional, some of you guys might remember this. It was pretty cool. They couldn't do it today or they'd go broke. But at the time, it was, if you promoted to regional in the first month of March, you would get a $1,000 bonus. If you promoted in the first week of March, the second week, $750, third week, $500, fourth week, $250. So my goal was to get that $1,000. So we're coming up to the end of March, and we have a weekly presentation, and Ray's got this guy up in front of the room who looked like he was straight out of Deliverance, and he's bragging on how he just got his $1,000 bonus, and I knew I wasn't going to get it, and I was so mad. I went home, and I was fuming mad, and I ended up getting the $750. I got promoted to regional consultant, and I was so excited about promoting to regional consultant, I had forgotten that I had planned a NASCAR party at my house. So I pull in the driveway, and all my buddies' trucks are there, and I'm like, oh, shoot. I go, you know what? I go, no guts, no glory. I'm going for it. I walked in the house, and I said, you guys got to, well, I said hi first, but I go, you guys got to watch this video before the race comes on. And they're like, come on. I go, hey, it's my house. And we watched the video. And actually, 3 people became consultants that day, and one of them was my wife's sister. And this is an important story that I want to tell you guys. So what does my wife's sister do the next week? She has a NASCAR party. She has a NASCAR party, and I couldn't be there, so Tiffany Wood went, and she started doing NASCAR parties every week, and before the party, she would show Ambit, and her team started to grow. But then all of a sudden, I don't remember the timeline, but now her and her husband are going through a divorce. And her husband says to her, if you sign off on my pension, I'll sign off on your Ambit business. And his pension was $1,200 a month. At the time, her residual income was about $300 a month. And she agreed to it. And he went around and told all of his friends and her friends how dumb she was for falling for that. Well, it's now probably 8 or 9 years later. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline. But his pension's still $1,200 a month. Her residual income's over $4,000 a month. And the crazy part is after the divorce, she has not showed up for Ambit in 9 years. She shows up at her job every week. She makes $30,000 a year as a billing clerk at a medical office. She makes $48,000 a year from Ambit, and she hasn't showed up in 9 years. You heard Justin played that Ronnie Kirkland video. You heard Ronnie talk about, for what you get started. My sister-in-law is getting paid for what she got started. And I truly believe that can only happen in an opportunity like Ambit. The way they've set it up, product-based business. I'm not saying product companies aren't good, but at the end of the day, people stop buying that stuff. And, we have tens of thousands of customers, soon to be hundreds of thousands of customers that stay with Ambit because of the person who signed them up, and the fact, up where we live, we're not even changing a customer's buying habits. They're still getting their bill from the same power company, and that's a powerful thing. So, things started to get exciting for all of us. Actually, my wife's sister has 7 ECs in her downline, and most of them are within her 7 levels, so that's pretty cool for her, But yeah, she does nothing with Ambit anymore, and I lost my track. So all right, so I promoted to regional consultant, and I started building my regional consultant business, and I ended up fast tracking the regional. I fast tracked the senior consultant, and sometimes fast tracking, and maybe some of you can relate to this, sometimes fast tracking is the kiss of death. And I say that to you because you feel like you burn through everybody you know and you have nowhere else to go. And it happens all the time. It's not true, but it happens all the time. And it happened to me. All of a sudden I'm spinning my wheels. I don't know what I'm doing. I went down to Ambition. They run a double bonus promotion. We come back. Remember, people work a 40-hour work week to make $500 in my town. And now I can go out and sign up one consultant, help them get paid, and I make $470. So I'm pretty fired up about that. And, I started signing people up and helping them get paid, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And I was frustrated. Chris Chambliss is coming to Utica, New York to do a lunch presentation, and I'm excited. It was a limited invite because it was a very small venue, and I was offered to bring people. And I got there with no guests. Everybody